I was 15 years old, Christmas 2001. Parents played a joke on me. They were like, all my siblings got their presents. And I'm just in here like, dang, like, I don't get nothing. Like, I'm like, what's going on? They gave me like BS presents. I'm like, this is crazy. Yo, I'm moving out.
Someone's playing favorites.
I'm like, this is crazy. And then my dad's like, oh yeah, this is really big box over there. It's for your mom, but Jay, can you help your mom open this box? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and help open this box. I'm ripping it apart and I start seeing what it is. And it's this Gemini DJ in a box thing. It's 2 turntables, a mixer, 2 monitor speakers, and this weird behind the ear like headphone thing. And that's when I started DJing. So my older cousins, they were part of the sound system. They were doing the dance hall and they were doing the reggae parties and the soca parties. So they were doing that music out in like Flatbush, like, and I was there watching them every step of the way. Music is kind of, it's life. It gives real meaning to life for me.
Jay Vic, thanks for coming over to Tiny Table Radio.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, it's so good to have you over here. I know we've been talking about it a little bit, so I'm really grateful you said yes, and we're making it happen.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. Yeah,
I'm happy to be here, kicking it with my homie. It's cool.
Yeah. I know we met a few years ago on a rooftop somewhere around here, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then we just did a little quick little B2B, and there were a couple. I Shazammed a couple of your songs right away because I was like, okay, you've got some groove. You got like your track selection. Even that night, it was just like really quick. I was like, all right, he's got some rhythmic stuff I've never even heard. I got to figure out what this is because, man. So I know you're on the big things. You're just getting started, but I really want to start with where you found your love for music and discovered that, and just tell me that story.
I feel like a lot of people are going to say the same thing. It started when I was very young. My big sister is she's 10 years older than me. So I was listening to the music she was listening to. My parents, just grew up in a house where we just had, we literally had dance parties after dinner, just our family, like in our house. So I come from a family where we, music is very, very big. My mom and dad, they're both singing and dancing. And so just taking the love of seeing how music brought us all together, how it made us all happy. It kind of was something that for me was just instilled in me since I was young. My parents are both Guyanese immigrants. They came here from Guyana, and they brought with them, they introduced me to the soca, the dance hall, the calypso, the chutney, all that, reggae, all that introduced me to that style of music. And then having my sister around who, introduced me into hip hop and R&B. And then just growing up in music, I played in band, saxophone in band all through high school.
Yeah.
And, music just kind of has been a part of me. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I was a kid. I was moonwalking you couldn't find me on the floor I could move on.
There's got to be some video footage of that, right?
I think so. I did a 6th grade talent show.
Okay.
A 6th grade talent show, and I bust a move in that one.
Okay.
I'll tell you now, I was getting it.
We might have to pull that up.
Yeah, I might have to try to find that for you. Music is kind of, it's life. I mean, it gives real meaning to life for me.
So from the soca and the Michael Jackson and all the way up, when did DJing come into the picture, and then when did producing come into the picture?
So my older cousins, they were part of a sound system. Sound system is what we call a collective.
Okay.
But a sound system is they were doing the dance hall and they're doing the reggae parties and the soca parties. So they were doing that music out in Flatbush, deep in Brooklyn. They were doing that kind of music. And I was there watching them every step of the way, carrying records, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just watching them in my grandmother's basement, just mixing. It inspired me so much. And I was like, man, I always wanted to be like them. So obviously whatever they're doing, I'm going to try doing it too. I was 15 years old, Christmas 2001. I got a DJ in a box set from Gemini for Christmas. My parents played a joke on me. They were like, all my siblings got their presents. And I'm just in here dang, I don't get nothing. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh yeah, here's some stocks. They gave me BS presents. I'm like, this is crazy. Yo, I'm moving out.
Someone's playing favorites.
I'm like, this is crazy. And then my dad's like, oh yeah, this is really big box over there. It's for your mom, but Jay, can you help your mom open this box? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and help open this box. And I'm ripping it apart, and I start seeing what it is. And it's this Gemini DJ in a box thing. They got me on, Christmas Story, where his rifle was behind the tree at the end.
Yeah.
They got me like that. And so I'm ripping it apart, and I'm like, oh my God. First I'm mad. I'm like, why am I helping my mom open up her present? This is not cool, but whatever. Open it up, it's Gemini DJ in a box. It's 2 turntables, a mixer, 2 monitor speakers, and this weird behind the ear headphone thing. And that's when I started DJing. Again, I'm on Long Island, so there's no record stores.
Right.
So the only records I have are my dad's. So I got calypso, I got reggae, I got soca, I got dancehall. That's what I'm DJing off of. Didn't have anything until later on, where my cousins and some other people I knew were DJs like would give me like their duplicate records thing, and I would have those, and found some gems in there. But I was still mixing that soca, that dance hall, that reggae music into the hip hop or the R&B or whatever I had my hands on. So it was like, just kind of exploring music throughout different generations, but throughout the diaspora as well, and putting it into one. And that kind of like built the foundation of how I play now.
What a great way to learn, instead of just focusing specifically on, oh, I loved hip hop or disco or funk, like, and just having to blend like so many different styles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I had to learn, I had to figure it out quick, like, and I'm doing it on vinyl. There's no waveform to read or anything. It's just literally like, okay, I feel like there's gonna be a drop here or something. Like you're kind of just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And that's, it really shaped how I play now. It's really, I'm really grateful for all of that.
How long in doing that and practicing with that Gemini box did it take you to feel like, okay, I can go out, I could actually do this for people outside of, my basement or my home, and listen to me, like I feel good. Like you had that confidence to do that.
It took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while because, again, I didn't have a teacher. I learned by myself. I found like this. It came with this tape with this DJ named P Love. I just found it the other day in my parents' basement, so I can recall it. But like this DJ named P Love did like this tutorial on how like to DJ, but it wasn't. He really didn't teach us anything. He just sat there and scratched the whole time.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, look how nice I am. One day you could be like me." And I'm like, "Teach me how, bro. This is not making any sense. This is a waste of, I was really self-taught. I learned a lot from watching my cousins play, and I actually put DJing down for a short while. I went away to school, and that's where I got into producing more. I left my turntables behind and I went to school, and I was already writing music. I started writing music when I was in like 6th grade. I used it as a way to get out of doing book reports. And so my teachers will allow me to write songs and make music videos instead of doing the book report and present that. And so I'd rap
let you do that.
Right? I'd rap and sing in front of class, and was like, it's the same thing as a book report. I took the same amount of time to write a good song and got the points across. It worked in my favor every once in a while. Teachers would let me get away with it. So I started writing songs then, and took it like further and further. And when I got to DC, I hooked up with a lot of friends who were like, doing more hip hop R&B, but like really taking the production and the writing serious. And I was like, okay, this is the wave. I'm hopping on this now. This is what I'm doing. I'm taking my love of music here. And had that little phase where I was trying to be 50 Cent and I was rapping. I had that phase for a little bit. Everybody, kind of took it through there. And then eventually I, really sat with myself and was like, where's my, what is calling me? What is my purpose here? Like in this, I know I want to do music. Music is part of my life. And DJing kind of just fell back to me. It came back to me and called me back to it. And was like, yo, come back here. Like do this more. And then also do more producing, because, you're producing now, play the stuff you're producing. You have a whole bunch of unreleased music. How are people going to hear it? Well, you should be the guy playing it. Then they'll hear it.
Was there like a moment in that timeline where you realized, I got to do this here, like I want to pursue this seriously? Because you're doing music full time now, like you're DJ and produce. That is what you do. So, was there like a specific moment where you go, this is it?
So the day after my 30th birthday, I was diagnosed with cancer, man, it changed my life. That moment changed my life. I wasn't expecting it. I thought I had a cold or a flu. I went to the doctor and came out and they were like, you have cancer. So that's where I realized, like, my life flashed before my eyes. That's when I realized, like, going through that whole, going through chemo and going through that whole process kind of changed my outlook on life and opened me up to, I grew up in a metaphysical household. So it opened me up to the teachings that I've been learning my whole life. But you never, some people get called back to religion or whatever. I got called back to my religion, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I really started to look at life in a different way and started to take control of my own life. And so at the time, I was working in law enforcement, actually, back then. And I got sick and I couldn't do it anymore. Okay. So I had to leave my job. And I had to, start looking at life differently. I started working in this herb shop and studying herbalism. Started taking my life seriously. That's right after that, a year after that, I went to my first burn.
Okay.
And you know how the burn does.
Yeah.
If you don't know what your purpose is, the burn will figure it out for you if you're there for that.
Right,
But like, you know, the
right.
burn will give you, it'll open
Yeah.
you up to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so
Especially
the burn,
going
yeah.
in with some type of intention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that kind of changed everything. And it was like, you know, again, that's where it just kind of all fell into place and was like, oh, I know my purpose now.
Okay.
And now I can walk in my purpose. And as long as I'm walking in my purpose, I can't go wrong. Everything's going to work itself out. And so having that trust and that faith that everything is going to work out just like it did, like I made it through cancer. You know, I made it through some heavy shit to make it through all of that. And knowing that like the universe has got you, you're good. Your ancestors are walking with you. You're good. Yeah. I don't really worry about it. And you can't have faith and worry in the same place. They don't live in the same place.
Yeah.
So you got to choose one.
I'm very grateful that you were able to make it through that, and what a perspective that can give someone.
Thanks, man. I was left here for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not the reason, but one of the reasons recently, which I'm sure had to be thrilling for you, was you opened up for Black Coffee earlier this year, right?
Yeah, that was cool. It wasn't what I expected,
okay,
but it was good. And the reason I say it wasn't what I expected is because, you know, I've spent a lot of my career and my growth period like idolizing Black Coffee. He's still, you know, one of the greatest, and I still honor, you know, who he is. I've got an opportunity to play at his store in Santon Mall, like was invited to DJ there when I was in South Africa, like things like that. It's been great. It's paved the way. Just watching his growth alone has paved the way. But getting there and actually playing and realizing this is just another set. I put a lot into it, like years of wanting that. And it was just this weight of like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I'm on the way there and I'm nervous and I'm shaking it. And I get on stage and I look at the CDJs and I'm like, these are the same CDJs I play on all the time.
Yeah.
This is just another set.
Yeah.
And, you know, after that first transition, it's just like, you know, you're in a groove. I blacked out. I always kind of do that though. Like I never pay attention. Like I just play.
Sure.
And so I blacked out, and I mean, I just had a good time. The energy was fun. It was a great time. It was a great opportunity, and I'm grateful for it. It's just something about the weight of it in that moment didn't feel like what I expected it to be, but it felt better than I expected.
Okay.
But I put a lot into that prior to, obviously. You know, it's somebody you idolize, and then you're finally getting to open for them. And it's like, oh.
And the exposure for you to be able to do that too. Right. So, yeah, I'm sure anyone in that position would be, you know, feel a similar way.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah. It was interesting just because I knew the weight of what it was. But again, it just didn't feel like I expected it to feel, which is a good thing because I expected it to feel a lot like harder or worse, or you know, and the pressure wasn't there.
It's great that it felt that way in the moment.
Yeah.
But what did it take to even get to that, to get that gig? And like, you know, there's probably so many moving pieces and parts,
Believing in myself. Yeah. Honestly, I got that just believing in myself, and, you know, having, you know, the right people reach out to me, the people who were throwing it reach out and was just like, hey, you know, you want to do this. And I was grateful. It was in Orlando.
Yeah.
Had it been in New York, I don't know.
Right.
But you know how New York is a funny market when it comes to DJing. You can be from New York, repping New York as hard as you want. They're not going to put you on stage because of that. Like, they're like, okay, cool. You're play somewhere else, and then we pay attention to you.
Right.
So they see you playing outside of New York, then they want to pay attention. You know, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
But that's just the name of the game, and you got to play it. So, you know, was invited to play this set down in Orlando, open for Black Coffee. And I mean, honestly, I got there because I was believing in myself during that time. When I got the call, I was down there for Miami Music Week, and I was not having a good time because I went down there unprepared. I went down there just like on a whim. And I was just like, you know, I was aimless. I didn't have much purpose when I was there. And I remember sitting with myself that in the morning that I was checking out my Airbnb, and I was just like, dang, like I just spent a whole lot of money to come here and didn't really get anything out of it. Like, what is happening? Now I got to go back home, and this is like, you know. And so I honestly, then I got the call and was like, you know, do you want it? I was like, oh, you know, things do work out. Got to have faith. Keep having faith, even in the hardest, most trying moments. Keep that faith, because things will work out as long as you want it to. It's a choice. It's a choice to wake up and have the confidence. It's a choice to wake up and just say to yourself, like, everything's going to be okay, and you make it a good day for yourself. So doing that and keeping that in practice kind of helped. Getting that call at the time I got the call really helped, because I was like, oh my God, like,
what a moment.
Yeah.
What a moment. There's a line in your Instagram bio that has the flag of Guyana on it, and it also says, "My sauce overfloweth."
Oh, man.
That's
so outdated.
What is the sauce?
I have to change.
Okay.
Okay, no, so the sauce is...
maybe that's a sign to update it, but I still want to know what the sauce is.
Oh, man, it's Guyanese hot pepper sauce.
Okay.
No, so the sauce, honestly, is it's what makes me me. It's all the things that make me who I am, and it's my confidence. I build all of that. From my Guyanese upbringing, from my time in DC, my time at Howard, my friends, my family, just all the things that I put together. I've traveled the world, and I feel like everywhere I go and every stop in my life, I grab another ingredient and I put it in, and you put it all together and you got your sauce. And so that's kind of the way I look at it. And everybody has their own. So mine I would say my sauce overfloweth. It means like I've got the confidence to do this. Like, I like to say this to people because this happens a lot. And I like to say, you can use the recipe all you want, but you'll never be able to duplicate the sauce. Everybody has their own. Like, just find your sauce. Everybody's got their own. So yeah, just all the things that make you you put it together. It creates what makes you special, what makes you different, what makes you feel unique, and you find your confidence in that, because I know I'm the only me stepping out.
Are there key ingredients or components or fundamental pieces to you that you feel like, obviously, you have a Guyanese heritage, your love for music, sort of this blend of different sounds and styles that you grew up with? Is it that? Is there something else?
It's that. It's just the experiences that I've been through in life, dealing with, some, life-threatening things.
Sure.
Just all the things, just my whole life, I just look at it like, stops on the trip, and I picked up, something from each place. So all the experiences that shaped me, all the beliefs that I, hold in my foundation, that, hold me up and kept me through all these things, the ancestors walking with me throughout all of these parts of my life. And leading the way for my future, that's the sauce. That's all the ingredients that I put in there. It's everything. It's all everything plays a part in it.
You mention your ancestors a lot.
Yeah.
How do you feel them? How do you communicate? How do you sense them?
I mean, they're around all the time. They're always with you. You have to take the time to open yourself up, to be a vessel, to allow them in, to speak to them, to understand, hear them, feel them. People call it, but I call them my ancestors. People call it spirit. Some just say it's God. Some people just say it's Jesus. You can say whatever it is you want to call that being. But I say it's the collective of my ancestors that guide me. It's important to me to honor them in everything I do. It's important for me to walk in my purpose because it's for the bigger picture of the world. I look at walking in your purpose as like it affects the world. And my ancestors will tell me, this is how you're supposed to move, this is how you're supposed to, and they guide me, they keep me safe, they've kept me through so much. I didn't think this way before. Sure. But after being through crazy things in life and just having them dealing with cancer and feeling like my life was over and having that guidance and being able to purify myself and hear and feel spirit, it changes everything for me. So every move I make, I'm honoring my ancestors. Every move, every time I make a decision, I'm telling you, I've consulted. This is like people say, you pray on it. You can either pray to God, or you can walk with God, or walk with your ancestors. And I choose to walk with and be in one with that and understand that it's the God in me, it's the spirit inside of me that they live through. And so I have to keep that up. I mean, they've survived. My ancestors are all survivors. They're all survivors. I'm here because of the survivors that made it. And so I have to honor everything that they've done to get me where I am sitting on this couch today. It's because of ancestor after ancestor has worked hard, has done so much to put me here.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're never really gone from me. They're always with me.
They feel what you're putting out there when you're performing, when you're playing, when you're creating.
When I first started listening to Afro House, I remember listening to it and I said to myself, I said, oh my God, this is the music that the ancestors left for me. I have a strong belief that my ancestors, you know, we come from people who were way further technologically advanced than we are today. Like, we think we're doing some cool shit, pretending we're flying to the moon or whatever the hell we're doing. And our ancestors are literally flying light years away and back in minutes. Like that, our ancestors have left this earth and were like, okay, let's, you know, and that's what I feel.
Okay.
Maybe it's a starseed thing, I don't know, but I just feel more so in tune with that belief of like, they've got the answers, whether they've done it before or understand that time isn't linear. And so they've been able to see it and experience it. And then they give me that, you know, so Afrotech and just bringing that feel into it really means something to me. And so walking with that faith of understanding my ancestors are leading me there. And so when it comes to playing Afro House, I feel like I'm honoring them. I feel like the beats in the drums, I always say, you know, as knowing that I am a descendant of slaves and understanding that they've had their name taken from them. They've been ripped from their land. They don't know their religion, the true religion that they started with. You know, a lot of things were pulled away from them. The one thing we've always had is rhythm. We've always had the drums. We've always had that. We've communicated with the drums. When we were trying to escape, you know, slavery in the South, the drums. We use whatever it is, to work hard, you call on the power of the ancestors through the drums. And the drums will summon, to me, the drums will summon that power of my ancestors. I believe in opening portals. That's a huge thing for me, is, you know, the concept of opening portals. And I think the key to a portal is actually sonically used, like it's a sonic key. And when I play my music, I am opening up a portal for my ancestors to enter and guide me using a sonic key, which is the music, using that sounds that honor my ancestors.
That's definitely more powerful than just sitting behind a computer and, you know, using some digital synths to just make a sound, right?
Nah, yeah.
Which there's, you know, it's part
you
of
got to kind of do it, but but you know.
No, but I mean, just the choosing to believe that way, I think probably gives a lot more substance and meaning and depth to what you do create. And that kind of brings me to the next thing I want to ask you about was the latest track that you've released. I know you have a lot of unreleased stuff, but the one that's called Take Me.
Yeah.
Take us through Take Me.
Okay, yeah. So again, the whole, you know, opening portals with a sonic key is a big thing for me. I went and I saw this movie, Sinners. Great movie, beautiful movie. And there's a part in the movie, a scene in the movie, where Miles Caton's character is playing the guitar in the juke joint. And he opens a portal and his ancestors and descendants come through this portal and they're dancing in the room. And you hear the influence of what he's playing. And you hear the influence from his ancestors playing with it. You hear his influence on his descendants playing in the music, and they kind of mix it up like that. In the song, he says, you know, somebody take me in your arms tonight. And that just spoke to me. Like, I literally shed a tear at that scene because it literally was like watching the things that I've been saying and the way I've been moving and what I've been preaching so long doing this kind of just come to life and be like depicted on screen. So shout out to Ryan Coogler for like reaching into my brain and like pulling it out. But like, that was beautiful. And I was like, that's what I've been trying to say. Like, I'm in the movies, like, that's what I'm talking about. So like, that inspired me. And I was like, yeah, I got to do something with that.
Yeah.
And so I went home and I started just working. I was like, I got to make this, you know, Afro House, because in the video, in the movie, it like showed it's like hip hop and rock and like, you know, all the different influences, but they missed Afro House. So I was like, let me go ahead and do that part myself.
I mean, there's a really powerful, almost gospel chorus like vocal in it.
Yeah.
There's an electric guitar towards the end.
That was my friend Franklin. He pulled up and played the guitar live on there. And I was like, And it was funny because I was like, bro, did you see Sinners? And he was like, at first he was like, nah, I ain't seen it. I was like, first you got to watch Sinners. He watched it and he was like, I get it now. Went on there and just ripped it,
Nice.
And like, he crushed it. And
Yeah,
it was great to have, thank you. It was great to have Franklin come through and bless us with that because that was a beautiful piece. But that song, honestly, is a song, again, just speaking to my ancestors, like, take me in your arms, guide me, lead me, show me the way, show me my purpose, and clear the path for me.
We have the influence from, your past, your lineage. Who are your current living and present influences?
So the biggest thing I say is like, my biggest influences are actually like my friends.
Yeah.
The people that I've watched grow from the ground up influence me. Of course, there's the Black Coffees, there's the Timbers, and, the guys that are like, the Vitoto, DJ Vitoto, and all those guys. But watching my friends do it, years ago when I first started, when I first started, I was still doing Serato. And Ameme was at my house and he was like looking at my deck and he was like, bro, you got to get on Record Box first and foremost. Like, and you got to play every day. You got to keep doing this. If you're not playing this thing every day, you're looking at it, but you're not playing it. If you're not playing this thing every day, you're not taking it serious enough. And I learned quickly, like, okay, I got to take it more serious. But watching him grow, I mean, this guy I remember he studied film just so he can film a good live set of him DJing. Like, he studied film to film a set. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of conviction you have to have in your dream. That's the kind of drive and determination. So what inspires me the most is watching my friends build stuff from the ground up and watching that process. Like, Foreigner out in LA building his, Junkyard Juves and just traveling the world and doing his thing. Watching AQ, blossom and just be amazing, and just watching her growth. Eli Fola, Ovis, like watching my friends grow has been the biggest influence for me, because like, of course you get that like, well, when's it going to be my turn? Like when but you can't have that. You have to, for me, I'm just looking at it like, wow, I'm proud of them and I see the path. And they're still my friends. Like, I can have contact. You can still contact them and talk and say, like, hey, how do I do this, and get that insight. But just being around and being in those rooms, I'm grateful to have been in those rooms with those people and watching the growth and being a part of it myself kind of inspires me. Yeah, I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I've loved watching his music, his studio sessions, and watching him build from the ground, like how a song is built, how a chorus and a harmony is built. And so that's always been intriguing to me. So being able to watch my friends produce, being able to watch my friends take over social media the way it is, because, it's different and you got to really give that a lot of attention. But watching them pivot and do that, and it's kind of just inspired me, myself. So I'm lucky enough to say my biggest inspirations are people I know, my friends. Yeah.
Even just some of the names you mentioned, just seeing their careers over the past 5 years just like take off, and like rightfully so, man. But that's the dedication, right? So are there any underlying themes or concepts or takeaways from your group of friends that you've asked when you've asked for feedback, or that has inspired? Consistency and taking the time to do the things that you don't want to do, but you have to do. Yeah. Like everyone has them. The things that you do, like, I mean, sending me, like, I just don't, come on. Like, I just don't want to deal with contracts. I don't want to deal with, how is this post supposed to look? How is the video supposed to look? I don't really want to deal with that stuff. Like, that's really like, we all say it, but I'm a millennial. I know this stuff, but the algorithm changes every other day. I can't keep up with it. I'm just like, all right, come on. But like, just keeping up with that stuff, watching my friends do it, and they're like, man, you just got to keep doing it. Eli always tells me, he's like, you got to be consistent, man. Just keep posting, bro. Just keep doing it. Like, drop a song, just drop it, because who cares if nobody listens? You dropped it. You feel good because you did it. Just keep doing it. And that's the main theme that I've gotten from all of my friends, has been consistency. That might be the answer to this next question, but I'm curious, if you had to go back to that day when you opened that Gemini DJ set, 15 years old, what would Jay Vic of today tell that 15-year-old Jay Vic? Outside of being consistent, I would say find your sound. Like, which is, I mean, eventually I did, but like, find your sound, create your sound, like, be true to you. If you like it, don't play just because you think that's what they're going to want to hear. Play what you like. You're going to attract the people who vibe with you by being yourself, by being true to yourself. Your growth is going to be organic because people are going to rock with you for who you are. So be consistent, but be yourself.
at all times. Like, just keep doing what makes you feel happy. I mean, a lot of my friends don't listen to Afro House.
Yeah.
Most of my friends probably don't listen to Afro House. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
My closest friends growing up, my family, they don't really, I get them into it. Now they're kind of like, oh, I kind of like that. It kind of got a beat to it or whatever. And I hear the influences of, oh, I heard that song,
Mm-hmm.
But truth be told, like, I had to stay true to myself, and it's been lonely sometimes, showing up to gigs where, you see your friends playing and they've got a stage full of people and you show up by yourself. It's happened. But, at the end of the day, staying true to who you are, doing what feels right for you is always going to be the key. So I would tell myself, be comfortable being you and be consistent.
You mentioned when, there was kind of a switch that clicked for you when you first heard Afro House. How long ago was that? Do you remember the song or like kind of where it was?
I mean, I don't know when was the first time I heard it. I don't know. I wish I could tell you the truth of like when I first heard Afro House.
Yeah.
I just know it was a while ago,
Yeah.
a long time ago, it was years ago. And the easiest thing is it was Black Coffee this or that.
Right.
I honestly don't remember what song it was. All I know is I remember hearing, I'm one of those guys who listen to music and never remember the lyrics because I'm listening to the production, I'm listening to the beat, I'm listening to the drums. And I just remember hearing something and those drums hit me and I was just like, oh snap, like I need this. I need more of this.
Yeah.
And I just started chasing it and pursuing it more. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is me. Like, this is what my hip hop sounds like this. My R&B sounds like this. This is what the ancestors left for me. This is where my path is supposed to be because this sounds too similar to what I've already known as. I've been able to listen to Afro House and heard the influences of, reggae, dancehall, soca, hip hop, R&B. Like, I hear it all in Afro House. And it was just like, okay, this is a collection of all the things that I've been listening to all along.
Yeah.
This is what I've been meant to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to fast forward a little bit and because there's been quite an evolution lately of what people perceive to be Afro House. Right? And
oh, man.
I want to go there. I want to go there. I think that there's a lot of, I would say for lack of a better term, it's become there's been a gentrification of it to a degree.
Yes. Yes.
And I think in one white man's opinion, that has been washed away a lot of what the core of Afro House is. And unfortunately, at the same time, it's almost put a lot of African artists on in some way at the same time because it's exposed people who otherwise wouldn't have been able to listen to it on.
Right.
Which that is quite a paradox, huh? But I want to ask you what your take on this evolution is.
Oh, don't get me in trouble here. You got me. I was doing good, man.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
All right.
Because this is a home for you. This is a safe space.
Yeah.
And I want to learn and I want to understand from you because one of my biggest insecurities and fears with this, which is a very privileged insecurity and fear to have, I will admit.
Okay.
But one of my insecurities with this truly is that I don't want to take from people. I enjoy Afro House. I enjoy listening to it. I enjoy playing it when I DJ.
Right.
So I just really want to hear it from you. Like, how can I respect that?
You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
You have me here.
Okay.
You're giving me you're using your platform to help someone who doesn't always get the opportunities, doesn't have all the privileges. You're doing it. Now, not everybody does that, but you're good. You're doing it. You're using your platform to help. You're using the platform to educate. And I appreciate you for that. So thank you for even having me here and giving me the space because you could have had another white kid over here doing, talking about, I do Afro House. And I'm like, I'm from Omaha and I do Afro House. Like, it could have easily happened.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Of course.
There has been a gentrification of Afro House. It's rampant. But at the same time, like you said, it has put a lot of people on. But a lot of those artists who get put on, their sound changes. So if you pay attention to it, when they first started, they were really hitting that Afro. They were really in the township on the drums, really getting it. And then they get put on, and at some point, I feel you're told what to do when you get to a certain point in the industry, and that's your bread and butter. I'm making money off of it now. You're paying me a lot of money, and this is what you want. I'm gonna give you what you want because this is, it's, you got to change. Some people, they change their style of play and they don't stay true to themselves. I know some artists, I'm not gonna say names, but they have two names. They have a name that's they're big by, and they go by that big name. And then they have another name that they'll get booked under. And if you know, you know. And that's where they play like the real hard hitting Afro house, hitting those drums, taking it back to the township, taking it back to the ancestors, like really honor, but that's because that particular artist just needed that outlet. And I respect them for taking the time to say, like, I just need to still do me. I'm doing what makes the money.
Sure.
But I still got to be true to who I am.
Yeah.
And so that happens a lot. So yes, a lot of us do get put on, but the sound changes after a while.
Yeah.
And so, and it's obvious to a lot of us who's keeping the sound real and who's not. I mean, I feel like for yourself, you use this platform, but there's a lot of people, especially in New York, again, it's a funny market. A lot of people in New York, they have places where, they're running the music programming and all that stuff for a place, but they're not looking to find real Afro house. They're looking to find popular music. And so it's not really Afro house that you're listening to. It's pop music with Afro theme. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it. It's pop with a little Afro. You can't throw a tembe on there, or a djembe, or a timber, or a conga on there and be like, it's Afro house now. You throw an arp on there, some crazy. That's not the same thing.
Right.
Like, that's not Afro house.
Yeah.
Per se. I mean, for me, but at the same time, I'm not going to down anybody else trying to honor. I think the biggest thing behind it is the intention. Mm-hmm. I put intention in everything I do because I know I'm doing it for a purpose, and I know who I'm honoring and what I'm doing it for. But what are you doing it for? Are you doing it to get more plays? Are you doing it to get booked and get money and to get popular so you can, have clout? Like, if that's the reason you're doing it, you're making a mockery of it, actually. It's like walking into church and seeing gospel music while you're, living a life full of sin, and you're just like, I'm just going in here to sing. It's blasphemous almost. Like when you come in and you do this without the intention of honoring where it came from. And I don't doubt down anybody for doing it and taking part in the culture and honoring the culture. Mm-hmm. But you have to understand the roots. Mm-hmm. You have to honor the roots where you're coming from, where you're doing it at. Like, you have to pay attention to who was there before, and you have to help pave the way for those people who are doing it the right way. So I don't really look at the color of somebody's skin and be like, you can't do Afro house. I'm not doing it. I'm not like that because, shoot, I know a whole bunch of white South Africans that crush it in Afro house,
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, it's all about the intention behind it. And you can tell pretty much off bat, like, if you can tell you're like, oh yeah, this guy, especially because like you weren't even doing Afro house the whole time. Yeah. Like, I know what you were playing before Afro house, and you're gonna do this and ride this wave.
Like trend
yeah, it's a trend. You're gonna do this, ride this wave, and then you're gonna hop off it and jump back into dubstep when it's done. But you weren't here the whole time.
Yeah.
You just jumped on because you just found some splice samples and threw some stuff together, and you knew the right person to put you in the right place to get you on stage to do it, and now you're a big shot doing your thing. It's not the same. The intention behind it is not the same. I prefer, and that's why one of the things about me is like I prefer my organic growth, my organic like way of doing this, because it's gonna happen the right way, and it's curated to fit my vibe, and I know, and I'm convinced that everything that's working out for me is meant to work out for me.
Yeah.
So more power to anybody else who's getting on, however they're getting on. It's just not my path.
Yeah.
And I choose to focus my attention on what I can control. I choose to focus my attention on what I need to do in my life and my path, because watching somebody else do it is not going to help.
I appreciate you going there with me. Thank you.
No problem, brother.
Is there someone outside of, I know you mentioned like a lot of your friends, they don't all listen to Afro House or produce Afro House, but is there someone outside of Afro House that's caught your ear lately that you're like, ooh, like I kind of want to like see how I can mess with that a little bit or collaborate with that person? Or
outside of Afro House, I listen to a lot of stuff from all around the world. I bring all that stuff in. So obviously I'm going to like a lot of stuff I'm hearing from soca artists. And so going back to like Allison Hines, I would love to work with. Voice, I would love to work with. Outside of Afro House, of soca, Leon Thomas is like crushing the game right now. Like, I'm still a songwriter at heart. And I admire, the greatest songwriters, and Leon Thomas has come in the game and really like doing this thing, and I'm proud to watch that. So like artists like that, like they catch my ear all the time. When I'm in my car, if I'm not listening to like music that I download myself, honestly, I'm listening to an R&B station, Heart and Soul or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of just where my ear is. I just kind of always, but it's everywhere.
Yeah.
My release radar is all over the place.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's got Jadakiss on there, and it's got, Jennifer Hudson or whoever, like whatever singer's got something dropping. Jasmine Sullivan, I love her voice. But like anybody who's dropping something, I'm gonna hear it, And I'm just like, I use all of that though. It's all like, we're all part of this. Just music is music to me, man. I just love it. I can't just stick in one box.
I hear you.
So my influences are from everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere.
And you'll hear that in my sets. It's just from all over.
I'm really looking forward to it. So let's just go back to you and your craft. You said you're a songwriter at heart. What's your creative process like when you're making a song? Is there a similarity, or is it kind of depends on the situation?
I mean, it starts with intention first. I approach it with, I can't force creativity. So it's like when it hits, it hits. When the inspiration hits, it hits. And so it could be 3:00 in the morning, which is when I tend to do most of my creative work. Or it could be midday. It doesn't matter. But whenever the inspiration hits me, it hits me. And I kind of just open myself up. And it's the same way I prepare for a set. Like I don't make a set list or anything like that. I just go by the vibe. But I feel like what's important to me is like opening myself up as a vessel for the ancestors to move through me. And so the choices I'm making, the sounds I'm using, it's like, what is clicking right now? What is it that's working at this moment in this creative process of this track, of this song? And all those creative choices come from basically a consultation. Like, it's like you think you're just thinking to yourself, but you're thinking to your higher self and you're activating that to create.
Yeah.
And so I move with that purpose of understanding that this is something there's an inspiration behind this, there's a reason behind this, to just go with the flow and just flow it out and just kind of you get an idea. That idea is a message. It's a message from spirit. Like take it, use it, keep going. You might change it up later. You might make it sound better later. You might scrap it later. At the moment though, at this moment, this is what I've been led to do, and I'm going to do that. So my creative process is just like letting go and just flowing through the project as much as I can. I'll save it, come back to it later.
Yeah.
The vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you don't finish it in one shot.
Yeah. No. It's always it can always be better. It can be changed.
Of course. Yeah. Do you feel like you've gotten more like efficient at just knowing like where to pull something or how to like get through a track a bit faster when you are producing, or is it always just like when it hits and I'm just in it?
I feel like, so for the most part, when it hits, I was at the Burn.
Nice.
Got to meet Night Freak. He's a pretty cool dude. And one of the things that we like connected on at first when I first saw him was like, bro, that Night Freak sound is amazing. Like, we shared a laugh about it. We talked about it, and he was like, you got to design your stuff, like, create something. And he inspired me to like create my own sounds and get more into sound design. And so I remember getting back home and was like, okay, well, I gotta get serum and all these different things, but like know how to like really change it and make it my own, like, and really started making my own sounds and creating what I knew it was supposed to sound like. And that kind of just helps with the inspiration to help streamline things. It's just knowing like, okay, I want it to sound like this. I can start that from the sound that I know is going to be my lead, or I know this is what my bass needs to sound like, or whatever. I'll create it. I'll find it, tweak it, whatever I got to do. I think that has been one of the biggest hacks for me in terms of production and, streamlining the process and making it easier. It's just designing my own sound, saving those, and then coming back to it and be like, oh yeah, okay, I know exactly what what synth I want to use for this because I made it.
Night Freak has quite a good synth sound.
Yeah,
huh? You know it.
You know it when you hear it.
Yep.
And I feel like that's something that to me speaks like volumes of like his process. Like you really can create your own sound and make it off of your own sound. That's a beautiful thing to be like a lot of this pop Afro house that you're hearing. It's just basically all spliced together. But people who are taking the time and like really hooking up that MIDI and plugging in that Ableton push or whatever it is, but using sounds that he created, that's beautiful.
Yeah. The sound design it's quite a journey.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's one of those things that it's very rewarding at the end.
Right, and it can make you stand out and separate you from just pull. And of course, I mean, I think we all use samples to a degree, but having like distinct sounds, right?
Have your own sound. I mean, I went back. So recently I've been able to find an old hard drive I've had since like 2011, 12.
Okay.
And I've been taking those old songs that I produced and songs that I wrote, and I've actually been sampling my own self from like back in the day now. So like a lot of the stuff I'm playing now and making now is I'm sampling music I made in 2010, 2011.
Nice.
Like those old beats then. And the thing is funny is back then there was like a real tech sound, was like it was like a real techy, housey, like R&B sound. So I was already doing, the Ryan Leslie sound and all that, kind of had that already in there. So I'm just like pulling those synths and pulling those sounds. I'm like, oh yeah, like I can use this. This is dope. Okay, and just like.
It's funny when you let something sit and you listen back and you're like, that's actually not that terrible.
And again, it's kind of looking at it and it's with the same intention. Like this is what the ancestors left for me. This is kind of what I left for me. This is what past me left for me. Like I didn't know what I was doing with all that music. I had a list. I thought I was gonna be an R&B singer. I wanted to be in Day 26. I don't know. I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. It didn't work out for me, but now I can go back to that and pull that stuff out and be like, oh, this didn't go in vain. It's not going to waste.
Yeah,
I can use it now. And I didn't find that hard drive until more recently, when I was equipped to use it the right way. So the universe didn't just give it to me like, oh, have that, and I'm just holding on to it. The universe was like, you aren't going to be able to use this until you're ready to use it.
Yeah, they put it in storage for you.
Yeah, it was holding on. And when it came back to me, because I would found that thing years ago, I was like, man, this is dead. I'm not going to be able to turn it on, whatever. And finally I was like, you know what? Let me figure this out. Figured out how to get it turned on, log back into it, get it all working. I was like, oh, these are all these old files. They're all on Logic and GarageBand and Pro Tools. I'm on Ableton now, but I'm like pulling the stems and pulling things out. I'm like, ooh, this is beautiful. And I'm like really digging into it. And now I feel like I've unlocked my own splice.
Yeah.
And finding that hard drive has so much stuff on it.
Well, you also probably know how to use those sounds in a different way now too.
Yeah. And that's why I said like I would not have had that. I would not have known how to use it had I found it years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say the universe gave it to me now. It's like, You're ready. Now's the time. Here you go.
Are some of those on some of your unreleased tracks?
Yeah, a lot of it's
okay, great.
Yeah.
I can't wait. We were talking a bit about you setting up your studio, and even just now you're saying, use that Ableton push, use that MIDI. What's your equipment setup like? Is there a certain piece of physical gear or a certain plugin that you are just like, I cannot live without, I have to have this at all times?
I like my Ableton push and I like my Arturia.
Yeah.
And it's kind of using those two things are kind of like where I go with everything from now. I can do some hand drumming on the push and stuff like that, so I can still kind of get in the feel of it. That's pretty much that's the equipment that like I must have, and then my mic, because before I'm not a trained pianist or anything like that, but I can play a little bit. But before I lose the idea, I'll sing it. And hum it into the mic, and then I'll just kind of go back and be like, okay, this is where I was going with it.
Yep.
So like my mic is obviously, I think my phone has like hundreds of voice notes because I'm just catching inspiration. I'm just gonna hum it, and I'll go back, I'll play it, and then do that. Yeah. So those are my biggest things, like the push, the Arturia keyboard with all the sounds, and then my mic.
Since you've committed to music full time, what's been your biggest challenge so far?
The biggest challenge in doing this full time, I would say it's overcoming the idle time. Idle time, you feel like you're supposed to be doing something, and you most likely should be doing something. You got to be consistent. Again, consistency is a big thing, but it's finding the time to still have a life. And because like, again, music inspiration hits me at any moment, any time. So, here I am working and I should be on my way somewhere. I'm showing up late to go to whatever because I'm working and I'm in the zone, but the inspiration hit me then and there. So I think that's one thing. Obviously money. I mean, you have to live. Finances is, tough, but you have to learn how to manage your money better. You have to, because summertime you can get gig after gig after gig. Then it's November. And you're like, oh, okay, every couple of weeks I got one, but
Yeah.
You're not coming in as a consistent.
Yeah.
You know, and at first, when I first started doing, I'd find a job, contract, go back and do something for a little bit and, head back into it. And now it's just like, I think having a great support system, but also like just being cognitive of what you've got and being consistent in not just creating, but also like the follow-ups and the communicating and the networking and building your network to keep that, keep yourself. Everybody's a DJ nowadays. Yeah. You have to stay visible. You have to stay like relevant. You have to kind of be there, be around, but also for me, I think one of the most important things right now is using my platform, whatever size it is, to give people that opportunity as well.
Yeah.
Because there are people who gave me opportunity who I'm able now to give back and give them opportunity.
Yeah.
And we work and build a community that way.
Yeah.
And I think having that community and building that community has been so important in doing this outside, like doing just music having a community has been a really big help with that. And that kind of mitigates a lot of the challenges that you would have because you have people you can talk to and like get some insight on like what's going on here, how do I do this, how do I do that, where should I be, what should I do, those are the kind of questions that you gotta ask, and having that community around you kind of helps with that.
Any upcoming releases, tracks, projects, gigs you're excited about you want to share with us?
I got a lot of unreleased music, shopping around, ready to release. I got something coming up with my boy Udora.
Okay.
We work on something called Milk and Honey. Been working on some new stuff, collaborating with a lot of my friends, putting some stuff together. So I'm excited to drop something soon. Before the year's out, you'll hear a couple more new releases from me, for sure.
Definitely looking forward to it. And it's been such a pleasure to have you on here today and chat with you and really learn a lot more about your story. I didn't know quite a few of those little things that you talked about, and they're not so little in terms of life perspective. So thank you for being so, willing to share that with me and for everyone listening. So it's been amazing. And just so everyone knows, where can people find you? How can people stay in touch with you?
Instagram, I am Jay Vic. IAMJAYVIC. I am Jay Vic on Instagram. You can find me, do the link there, you'll find everything. SoundCloud, YouTube, everything. You'll find me there. And just on Spotify, Apple Music, all distribution platforms, I'm on there as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
Jay Vic, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again. Can't wait to hear your set here coming up.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to that latest interview on Tiny Table Radio. It would help a lot if you hit that subscribe button now so I can bring on more guests and keep this show going. So hit that subscribe button now, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy the set.